Hello.
Hello.
Howdy, folks.
¿Qué
Merry
onda?
Christmas, everyone.
Oh, yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. How was your holidays?
Yeah.
Just good?
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
What did you get a very good present from Santa?
Yeah.
What you wanted?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Did you leave him cookies and milk?
No, I think I
Me
left
las
something
comí.
better than that.
That's
Oh, man.
how are you, Brisa?
It's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, not bad.
that's good. That's good. What this?
And you?
It was good. Easy, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Kids had fun. They were excited. All the presents they got from our end, my in-laws and my parents. Yeah.
Now, do you have them open presents on the 24th hitting midnight? Or do you wait like 25th morning?
Well, our presents, the one me and my wife get, we give them morning, 25 early in the morning. Yeah. And then whatever my parents got them, my in-laws got them, they open them on this Christmas Eve.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. Best of both worlds.
Yeah. They get more excited. Double whammy.
Yeah.
Yeah. ¿Y tú, Katy, you open
Yeah.
presents in the midnight?
On the 24th, you see, a very long time ago, I stopped waiting until midnight. So we just opened them like at 10 or
On 24th?
yeah, like 10, 11.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you stop?
Because I couldn't
for midnight.
Because I couldn't stay up.
Yeah.
I would take a nap, or I would
Nice.
go to sleep, and I would wake up, and I'll be all disoriented. I'd be like, "What day are we on?"
That's funny.
No, so we opened on the 24th. We did a gift exchange with my husband's family. Y como a las 9 ya preguntaron if we were ready, and I was like, "Heck yeah, I'm ready."
Yeah, we also did gifts exchange over at my in-laws end, but it was about to be 10 o'clock when we started.
Yeah. It was a good time. That's a good time. That way everyone, goes around, gets their gift.
Mm-hmm. Shows what they got.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's fun. Is that a shark tooth?
Tiger eye.
Ooh, that's really pretty. Oh, with the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome.
Is that what you got for a present?
Yeah.
Nice. Very thoughtful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's really
I just gotta find a necklace for it. It's too short.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I gotta find a good one. Something that would match.
The brown?
Yeah. I don't know. I'll see what I find. Yeah, I'll see what I find.
Pretty.
So what should we talk about? What kind of conversation should we give our audiences today?
That's a good question. What? Hey everyone, this is Brista.
I'm Joel.
And I'm Kathy.
And you're listening to the No Clue Podcast.
A space where we'll be having normal conversations that we have no clue what we'll talk about, hablando de nuestras vidas cotidianas y de nuestras experiencias espirituales. 3 individuals finding our space into this universe. You guys believe in past lives?
I do. There's still a lot of there's still lots there's still a lot of questions that I have. There's a lot of questions that I have. And I'm pretty sure that no one's gonna be able to. Well, I shouldn't say no one, but it's gonna be really hard for me to get the answers that I would like to have, or at least a answer. Yeah, I do believe. I do believe.
Yeah.
As strange as it sounds. Yeah.
Not strange at all.
Well, I guess no, not now. When I first heard of it, I'm like, past life. But the way I heard it was past life regression. That's how I started with everything. Past life regression, which is something that I haven't gotten done yet. But it looks interesting. Looks interesting.
Okay.
I seen it get it done to a person before, and it was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting. Well, because there's two. I believe there's probably more than one or two types of way how you could get a reading done or a regression done.
Yeah.
But the one that we did was the one where they kind of, I don't know if you want to say hypnotize.
There's a word for it that he used. I can't remember what it is. It was like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was 2 years
ago. Yeah. But no, I do believe in past life, and I believe it now more. As I mentioned prior to the other recordings we've done. When my godfather passed, if I remember correctly, a couple days later, I had a dream about him. Now I didn't see how he the way I saw the dream was I saw him there's the beginning of it was in the hospital, and then towards the end was I felt like I didn't see it. I felt like he was sitting down. He was sitting down in this big chair or whatever it is. But just the fact that I had that dream, I know there's something else after we leave this world.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
No, the only thing is that I'm sure you guys hear it. There's all different kinds of speculations of what happens after life, or what we're gonna be walking into and stuff like that. I mean, that part we won't know until we leave this world, which hopefully is not until 80, 90 years from now.
Well, after my tia Brisa, she says she's good at 60, 65.
Well, we'll have to make sure that we keep up with her. Oh no, wait, you don't even want to be buried, huh? We'll have to visit her wherever they have her.
Oh, I don't want to be buried either. That's scary. Cremate me.
I'm on the fence. I have I don't know what I want, because I mean, I guess one way or another you're screwed either way. Because if you get buried, right, my kids, my grandkids will visit, but their kids will probably who the hell's that guy? And then that's that. And then if you get cremated, right, my kids will have my cremation or my ashes, and then probably one of their kids. But then after that, it's at least that's what I think. So I don't know. I don't know what I want.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you can donate your body to science. You can become a tree, a plant. You can be fish food. I think I was reading something about that.
Really?
Turning into an ecosystem for the sea. Something like that. Um, I don't know. I just wouldn't want to be buried.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, everyone has different ideas of it. You know, as you guys know, um, we had two twins that didn't make it, or they were both born, and we ended up cremating them. Right.
Mhm.
I had a couple people here and there telling me no, not to cremate them because of their soul and all this other stuff. But I mean, me and my wife, we had our own selfish reasons why we wanted to cremate them, not bury them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know.
How about you, Dia?
Do you believe in about afterlife?
I do believe there's an afterlife. I do believe that mm, that maybe us not physically, but like our souls come in contact with other souls that we have been connected back in past lives. I have not had one of those hypnotized sessions, but I have had um past life readings. Those I have had. I kind of feel with the hypnotize for some reason I feel that I won't be able to get hypnotized. I do not know why. I feel that I won't be able to because it's really hard for me to concentrate or somebody to put me probably just I don't know in a different state of mind.
Mm.
I do feel that yeah that we do come together with other souls that we connect in this life.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I've been told. I've also had past life readings with I don't think I want to call them tarot cards. Cards that have to do with with that specific
Mm-hmm.
topic. Um, especially with your soulmate and stuff like that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
apparently if you have apparently what I've been told, your kids tend to follow you through life.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They either were something in your life as in family. Either they could have been like your sibling, cousin, or something in
Mhm.
between those.
Well, that's interesting because
Hmm.
I would always say um to my mom that we were siblings in a past life. And it's funny because there was this one time where me and my mom were talking, and she had mentioned that she thought in another life that she was Egyptian.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Egyptian.
um,
Interesting.
and that she was like royalty. And it's funny because I just recently did a hmm, would it be considered a past life regression? Um,
Well,
I wouldn't consider it 100% because I don't know. I just wouldn't consider it, uh, to be a professional one. I did it with my tia Brisa, and she found the video on YouTube, and that's what we did.
She
And
definitely not professional, Brisa.
what?
Not them.
No, I know.
um, and that was really interesting because with this experiment, I was just it was an experiment. I was some lab rat here. And with this experiment, I was a boy, um, anywhere from 6 or 8. I was a young child, um, and it looked to be, somewhere, I don't know, in the Egyptian times as well. Um, so it was very interesting. Um, But I do agree. I mean, that there is a past life, that we live more than once. Well, that we have history, a timeline. Yeah.
I was also told that I had a tarot card reading well, about 3 years ago. And when I get tarot card readings, I ask about just in general, and then I like to specify about my back then my two kids, my wife, and then my wife was also she was pregnant with Joel. I asked about him, and it had shown that he's been around before.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
That he's been around before. Yep.
Interesting.
And I would like down the road, I would like to find someone, I guess, who's been practicing past life regression for a long time now. Someone who has that confidence, who has the ability to do it, and get that done. So, I would like to see what part of life was I with my kids, with my current wife. Because apparently your soulmate usually follows you as well, in one way or another.
Sure.
Yeah. And at what point in my life, well, not this life, but my past life, I didn't have kids. Apparently, I think I was a monk in one of my readings.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So I would like to go back to that time and just see just a little bit to see what was it about. Yeah.
Do you guys think that the lessons we learn in our past life we bring on to this life? Or do you think we have to reteach ourselves those lessons?
I don't think that we come with the lessons that we learn in past lives. I think we come back to learn certain things that we didn't learn in those past lives.
Okay. Okay. So do you guys think that I don't know, do you guys get deja vu?
We'll see.
Do you guys think those are connected to those
100%.
past lives? To those,
Oh yeah.
like you had explained, we learned new lessons in this life, right? And the reason why I had asked if we bring the lessons that we learned from our other lives to the ones we live now, could that be a reason why we get deja vu? Because we've
So I think if we
experienced it before?
so I think that if we were to come in this life with the lessons that we've learned in our past lives, in an instant, like Joel said, he had a reading where he was a monk. Monks are really spiritual. They're really into, in the silent and the quiet. If that was probably the case, then it wouldn't be so hard for Joel to concentrate, when we're doing all this stuff.
I do like quiet. I'd like when I just like quiet. Yeah.
But then it wouldn't be so hard for us or for you to sit down and actually concentrate because you already come with that, with that within you from a past life. But it's completely the opposite. And I say it because from a reading also, Jorge is also, in one life, he was also a monk. And
maybe they were at the same temple.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe,
but Scorpios.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Scorpios.
Scorpio.
And there's nothing that has to do with a monk that he is.
No. Maybe a veces le sale un poquito, nomás un poquititín.
Bien poquitito. Ni poquito. Ni poquito. One of the things that I have had the one reading with Jorge. It was that me and him were together in a past life, and well, this I want to get from this. I want to get to this question. Um, have you seen like recurrences that you guys think that you do with your partners or with somebody else? Like you're always checking up on them for something, or you just seem yourselves doing something repetitively. I mean, you just don't know why you do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had done one reading once, and apparently Jorge and I were together in a past life, and she asked us that. Well, she had asked Jorge because we were both together in that session. She asked him that if I'm always like calling him when he's out, like when he's out and about in the street, or when he goes to do something, that I'm just calling him or texting him like where he's at. Is he okay? And this and that. And he's like, yes. He's like, yes, and a lot. And it's very true. I do it a lot.
Mhm.
And then she said, well, she does it because in that past life that you were together, you never came back.
Mhm.
And she was waiting for you, and you
Aw.
never came back. So it's really interesting how I didn't know I was doing that. Like being conscious about it, I didn't know I was doing that. But
Yeah.
once she said that, I started like going back to every time that he's out, and I'm always, "Are you okay? Hurry up! You're taking too long. Like, where are you? You already took forever."
Yeah.
And he and then Maria would be like, "Oh, ma, can you just like let him, be or something like that?" And I'm like, no, o sea, I get really worried. I don't know why, pero siempre me daba como una ansiedad when he will be out. And then after that reading, I knew why I was doing that
It
a
made
lot.
sense. The dots were
Mm,
connected.
yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Mm.
Which now me knowing, I try to stop doing it, but I can't stop.
That's funny.
Pero entonces ya traes eso de esa experiencia. It
Sí,
may
de
not have
anterior,
been a
yeah.
lesson, pero es un
Yeah.
characteristic,
Mhm.
that a trait que traíste de esa vida que tenían antes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like our physical body doesn't know that we know each other, but our souls, our inner soul does know that we connect, we have connections. We just don't know about them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Jorge, let me tell you, Jorge all the time calls Joe my brother. All the time. Cada vez que se refiere a tu hermano, I'm like, mi hermano. He's like, oh, chingados, tu primo. And there's times that I do sit and I kind of think about it, and it's like, no, for some reason, sometimes it does feel like a brother.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's because I just don't have a brother and I see him, more now as a brother. Like if I have something's wrong, I call him. We talk and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But in the way I do is like, I'm like, I don't know. It could be probably both. It could, that it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really funny how he always dice tu hermano. I'm like, ¿cuál hermano? Ah, tu primo.
It's funny because honestly, since me and Brisa pretty much, I guess we touched this topic, and I think that's one of the reasons that
We're
we
connected.
connected. And ever since I've seen her like a sister, obviously more than a cousin. And and I see her like a sister just because of the type of connection that we have.
Mhm.
Like what I'll do for my my sisters, I have two sisters. What I do for my sisters, I'll do the same thing for her. If I'm able to do it, if I'm able to help out or whatever I'm able to, I'll do it. I'm not like that with other cousins or any other cousins. Not to be rude or I'm not like I have cousins and they're just cousins, and I do have some cousins that would connect and a couple things, but it's like it's not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah, and it goes the same because I go, no, but es el único primo que tengo, and then we go like, no, no, there is other cousins, but and see the closest ones, it's the only cousin I have around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only
So,
one who seems to understand you.
Huh?
The only one who seems to understand you.
No. Ese es que solamente en sí es el único primo around. There's no other cousin around.
Oh, okay.
There isn't.
Oh, I thought you meant like you guys, are on the same level of que
No,
se
no, no, no.
entienden, pues, que tienen ese
No,
bond.
o sea, por decir de primo, yo de primo, es el único que por decir que tengo alrededor del estado de Pensilvania. Bueno,
Oh, okay. De que sepas.
no, pues sí. I mean, who else do we have? No, o sea, un hijo de tía Linda, but I know he's here, but I don't see him. Pero antes que llegara él en sí, por decir, he's just like the only cousin that I have to say. As male cousin, because female cousins, pues sí.
Chingo.
Yeah.
Easily over.
Yes.
Easily over 7.
Yeah.
Easy.
Wow.
But lately I've been thinking that I do want to get another past life reading, but I want to find someone else to do that reading for me.
Okay.
Now, not saying anything about the person who did the reading for me, but I like to have two different, I guess you say, point of views. To have two different people give me readings about a certain, I guess you say, certain subject or topic.
Right.
Just because they both have different views about things, So and it's interesting, especially if they've both been doing it for a long period of time.
Yeah. What about you? Besides a little bit that we did, Kathy, what experiences have you had with the past life?
Other than the one that we did together, that was pretty much all. I know that I would always get like deja vu a lot. I'd be like, we've been here before. I've done this before, or I've experienced this before. I would always get deja vu. That's mostly it, really. There's.
Or how about when you see people and you're like,
people's faces?
Their faces look familiar.
Familiar. What? See them for you're thanking, then you try to figure out what who you've seen new through the past week, past month, past year, and nothing.
Yeah,
I get that a lot
with faces sometimes. But listen, back when I was younger, I would see a familiar face and I would go up to them and say hi. But then it turned out it wasn't the person I had in mind, so I would just be all awkward to that person.
It was like this yesterday. I was in the pharmacy yesterday, and I was in the line waiting. I was in the line waiting, and there was a lady sitting in a chair. She was waiting for her medication, and out of nowhere, she starts talking to me, or she starts laughing with me. But there was somebody else behind me, so I thought she was, diciéndole like hi and all this
Mm-hmm.
to the person behind me. But no, she was like she was standing up and going like this to me, like to grab, my attention. And
Yeah.
I'm looking at her and I'm like, I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I didn't yo no la conocía. So
Mm-hmm.
no, I didn't know who she was or anything like that. And I just looked at her and I smiled, but that's as much as I went. I don't know if she confused me with somebody else or because she was trying to like to kind of start a conversation, but I thought she was starting to have a conversation with the person behind me.
Yeah.
But then when I look back, no, the guy behind me was Asian. So I'm like, no, because she was talking to him in Spanish. So
That's
then
funny.
afterwards just got awkward. So I just smiled.
Have you know? So believe. So I only have like I guess you could say two good friends, right? Now in my adulthood, I'm pretty. I was. I've always had trouble with trusting people and stuff like that, or who I get close to and whatnot. Um, and sometimes I've wondered if if we were either related or like we were friends in the past life. Is the way and now they both don't know each other. These two guys they don't know each other, but the way that we talk, we connect, we just, the way we met, we just like, you hit it off, we hit it off and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And there's times where I actually question, I'm like, I wonder if in the past life we were like some sort of like, if we ever worked together or cousins or brothers even,
Mm-hmm.
times I actually do wonder that. There's the conversation between us it's just fluent,
Yeah.
could pick up something really quick and then just go with it.
Yeah.
Hmm. I do get
Mm.
that with my best friend as well. Um, we just clicked and then we talk like we're siblings. And I'm just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Talk more to her than my actual sister sometimes.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah.
It does
Hmm.
happen. Yeah. And I think those are the best type of relationships to keep around.
I think it also depends too, really. I would like to think how you grew up. Because, for example, there's things that I don't tell my sister, right? But there's things that whatever I don't tell my sister, I'll tell Brisa,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
Um, and necessarily there's more that I will communicate to Brisa than I would to my other two sisters. Yeah. So
Would it be a thing that you can associate with like confianza? Tenerle más confianza a uno.
not no no no. It's not so much the like confianza en eso. It's just how can I put it? It has nothing to do with that. It's just I don't. Yeah, that's a good question. So I would say, I mean, I trust my sisters, and I trust both of them, but I don't know. I guess
Or out of
it,
your
it
comfort.
probably is. Even growing up, me and my sisters really never shared anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was always the bigger brother, or Sarah's brother. Scaring her boyfriends and whatnot. So maybe that has something to do with it. I probably pushed her away a little bit. She would always get mad at me. So I don't know. But not, yeah. So lately I've seen on TikTok, I've seen a lot of videos what happens when you pass, right? So apparently this video that I've seen, well, when you go, right? But I guess once you cross that light, you're crossing you pretty much once you cross that light, you're being reborn again. You're
Mm-hmm.
some woman. And it's funny because and now that I'm thinking and I'm not done talking about it and I'm thinking about it, when my when my kids passed, maybe a couple months down the road, we had a channeling session, right, with our mentor. And she brought up to us that I think one of them was thinking of possibly moving forward, right? She said something around those lines. And me and my wife, we were like looking at each other like, what do you mean moving forward? And she's like, crossing that light, following that light, pretty much being reborn again.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, us personally, one, we have no control over that, period.
Yeah.
Right? We did not like that idea, right? Because we didn't like the idea just because if that did happen, we would lose contact with him.
Really?
Well,
Because they were reborn.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and that's when I question myself, like, how does that work? You know?
Because
there were like, for example, we have our own spirit, right? We pass, we go up there, and then I guess if we choose to stay, I guess you send that platform. Let's just put it that way. We choose to stay in this platform here to watch over our loved ones or whatever, right? I guess there's a point in time where we could say, "I think I'm ready," and then and then I move on, and then apparently that's all forgotten. Apparently, when we're being reborn, we don't cry because of the spank that we get or anything like that. Apparently, we were born crying just because of all of those thoughts that we had, all those memories that we had. We, as we're being born, we notice is that they're going by, like they're just leaving.
Yeah.
And then as we grow as infants, we just forget about everything. We learn new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yep.
It's funny that you bring up the TikTok video, because I had also watched the TikTok video about a mother saying her daughter was the reincarnation of her mother who had passed. And she was saying how she was showing her. No, I'm sorry. She was saying how she was noticing her daughter wouldn't turn her head anymore when her name was being called, but would only turn when she had called her after the mother's name who had passed.
No way.
And she would light up. And so there would be tests, that she would do on her daughter. And she would call her by her name. They would be playing around, and I don't know where, just call her by her name and nothing. La niña no reaccionaba, no, como que si le entró y se le salió,
What age?
Baby, months.
Oh, wow.
Months. Yeah, I'll look for it and I'll send it to you guys. And then she said that, again, they'll start interacting, they'll start playing around, and then she'll call her by her mom's name, y ahí she'll spark, like she'll light up, y que algún día se le ocurrió a la mamá a enseñarle una foto de su mamá cuando era más joven, y that the daughter grabbed the photo and she said, "That's me." Pero clear as day, she was like, "That's me." And then she started pointing at her hair, and then she started pointing at, her face. And she pointed at her face and pointed back at the picture, and she was like, "That's me." I got goosebumps when I watched that video. I was like, "Oh my God, that's insane. That's crazy."
So I guess today was actually one of those, I think this was meant to be, because as I was scrolling today on the platform too, I got a video de una señora. It's the lady with her young baby. She was on a high chair, so she was probably maybe 7 months, somewhere around there. And the mom will ask the little girl if she was Granny, and the little girl would turn her head like this, and she will go like this, and then she'll go back, and then it's like, "Are you Grandpa?" and she'll go like, she'll move her head like this.
No
And
way.
then, and then she's like, so are you Granny? And then she'll go like this again, and she'll go like, she'll shake. I'm like, whoa, that is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And when she'll say grandpa, the little girl will get so serious, and she was like, no. And when she will say granny, like she will smile, and she'll go like, she'll move her head, yes. So that's,
Yeah.
that,
I remember watching when I was younger this show about reincarnations, that they would go out and get stories from around the world about children, adults, who thought that they were reincarnated. And the one that stands out to me the most, and I saw this on the Discovery Channel, or yeah, it must have been the Discovery Channel or something. But the one that always stands out to me is about a boy who said he died on the Titanic.
Right. Oh, I thought you were gonna say the Twin Towers.
No.
yeah, there is one with the Twin Towers too.
There is one
Yeah.
about the Twin Towers. But he
Titanic.
said that he died on the Titanic, and that he would get nightmares about how he died. And so I was just always really fascinated, because I wanted to remember those past lives. Like, I wanted to be able to like be on the show and tell them like I was, so and so, and this is what happened. Like, I was just always fascinated with those type of shows. And to think that if I would be able to remember my past lives.
That's pretty cool. I wonder whatever happened to this kid that apparently he was able to see that he passed, well, he died when the Twin Towers happened. I wonder I wonder whatever happened to that boy.
Like,
apparently he had visions. I'm not sure it was visions or dreams. And he if I remember correct, this was years ago, I think he was able to explain into detail a couple of things here and there, what was going on and what specifically happened.
Wow.
In there.
That's interesting. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
So
apparently.
sorry.
It's okay, go ahead.
No me acuerdo dónde lo vi y dónde dónde lo estaba yo escuchando, but there was this story that she was talking about herself. A lady's talking about her experience of that she was having a child, and the child se le murió el bebé, and then months, not even months, it was like maybe like a month later, she got pregnant again, and she got pregnant with, it was, the first child was supposed to be a boy. Now the second pregnancy was supposed to be just one child, and when she had an ultrasound done, there was two. She had a girl, and there was also a boy.
Really?
And that, when I heard that, it made me think, because when I got pregnant with Pancho, well, before getting pregnant with Pancho, I had a miscarriage. And maybe like few weeks, maybe 2 weeks later, I had gone again to get retested back again. And I was pregnant. I was pregnant again, and I'm like, well, wait, how can that be when I had just lost a child? And I'm like, how can I be pregnant? Like I no entendía, ¿me entiendes? Sí. That same doctor, who I still remember her name, that same doctor that I had for that pregnancy that I had lost, it was the same doctor that I got again when I went to go get my results again for the second time. And she told me, she's like, well, you're pregnant. And she's like, I don't know. She's like, this is weird. she's like, you could have had a pregnancy of twins and maybe one passed and your second child or like the other kid quedó. And she's like, that it's rare. She's like, but it can happen. And it makes me think if Pancho was, probably a twin or something.
Well,
Twins do in your family.
twins do run
Yes.
family.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrifying. Well, it's not for me. Twins. Could he have been a twin? Can't you do a test to figure that out if you were a twin?
I don't know. I'm
genuinely curious about that. Because there's a lot of stories of like twins and then one twin eating the other. Or not necessarily eating, but consuming them.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's what apparently, that's what my mom was saying that happened. He's like, because she said maybe es envidioso y nomás quería venir él.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I don't know, but that was it. It was scary because I had one. I remember I had done a pregnancy test at home. It was positive. Then I went to the doctors to get a blood work done, and I had became positive. But then I started spotting, and I called the doctor, or I had called the office, and they told me to go back in.
Mm-hmm.
When they did the blood work was coming out that I was having a miscarriage. Then after that, 2 weeks later, I went back again to get retested to get blood work done, and then I got it. Then when I got the results, she called me to come in that I was pregnant again. I'm like, wait, what?
Wow.
But it was and that same doctor, I still remember her name. That same doctor was the one who was at the birth of Francisco.
Really?
Yep. That same doctor.
That's
and that here you don't get the same doctors when you're on the OBGYN. You get different ones.
Really?
You see different ones.
Aquí no.
There's so many of them.
You see different ones because you just don't know on the time of labor which doctor is going to be on call.
Yeah.
So that's why they have different ones. And I don't know, for some reason she was the one there when on the day that I was going in labor with Pancho.
It was meant to be.
But yes. So it's the beginning.
Yep. Meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
It makes me question a lot of things. I cannot say right now. It makes me question a lot of things.
Now, what would be one of those questions?
I guess not so much lately, but before I was having trouble, I guess you could say, grieving my kids, right? Until not long ago, maybe 2 months ago, like, or something like that, or like, I don't know where it just hit me, right? But then prior to that, I had the one time I had Reiki the one day, and I happened to see, I always see purple, y también, I happened to see, like, at first I had like a small little hand like reaching down, right? And I got emotional, like, I didn't start crying, but like I felt how I got emotional. And then shortly after that, I saw a form of a baby, but in an ultrasound form.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So me thinking in my head, my kids, stop by to say hi or something,
Yeah.
Where Reiki was done, I let what would you call her? What would you call her? I want to say her name.
Mentor.
I guess you could say, yeah, she could be another
practitioner.
mentor. Yeah, it's not our mentor, it's someone else. Yeah, it works in the same building.
Mm-hmm, yeah, practitioner.
Okay.
I let her know, what I saw and whatnot, and I did tell her that well, that I need to work on grieving, where there's like counseling or all this other stuff, right? And she said that, oh, I also brought up that maybe we're thinking of possibly trying to conceive again down the road, right?
Mhm.
But she said that she advised for me like to try and I guess you could say, overcome that issue that I had with the grieving part, just because she said, how did she say it? She said you might treat them. She said them
Mhm.
different, or like try to. How did I forget how she said it, but what caught my attention was the word them.
Mhm.
So it made me wonder if we were trying to conceive, if we're gonna get another set of twins on our way. But she said you might treat them,
Well,
but
I think with the word them, instead of saying
He or she.
yeah or it, it sounded better to say them,
Yeah.
you know.
yeah, makes sense.
Mhm.
But you never know.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
you never
Yeah.
know.
You
You
never
never
know.
know. Yeah,
I mean, gotta give it a try.
Now,
I don't know. I don't know right now. I gotta get. No, I don't know. There's a couple of things that needs to get done before that even crosses our mind again.
so do you think if you were to have, you know, to think about, having another child, would you think that one of their kids were one of the twins will come back?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Um, I do want to say, I mean, it would be pretty cool, but at the same time, um, I don't think the other one might be too happy.
The one who
Just
wanted to
because,
go to the light.
oh, who knows?
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah,
either
no,
one.
either
Hmm.
one, they might not be too happy. 'Cause, I mean, they were together inside, the womb, and they both left together. You know, I mean, one left just a couple minutes after the other one, but just because of the time they were born. Um, but they've been together, and Brisa, about a year ago, she confirmed for me that they were together, that she was under my godfather's wing. Remember, you confirmed that?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. I mean, yeah, it'll be pretty cool, but at the same time, I wouldn't want them to be separated
Be apart.
because, yeah, because I mean, I always think, well, I've thought that when once in a while I talk to them, I always ask them for them to take care of my wife and take care of their siblings, to guide them, as much as they can. And I mean, I put myself last. First, for me, first is them, and there's two of them, and there's four of them. So, I figure one way or another, they're both helping each other out, guiding their siblings, guiding their mom and whatnot. So, I mean, it would be pretty cool. It would be interesting.
Mhm.
We do decide to conceive, and whether we get a boy or a girl or whatever, and then we go to a challenge session and says there's only one of them up there. You know, I
I am
mean,
so sorry for the noise in the background.
they're having fun.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it would be pretty cool, but at the same time, I don't want another one getting upset. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see what he has in store for us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I learned the hard way. We could plan, but doesn't always get executed the way you want it to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So before knowing about past lives, what were like your thoughts before knowing?
Before knowing about past lives, what were our
I didn't have
It's
thoughts.
like, do you have any belief into it? Like, no.
No, it was always just scary. Before, whenever thinking about death for whatever reason, um, it was a scary thought.
Hmm. Interesting.
Before I got
What was scary? The thought of the just death.
not yeah, not knowing what's gonna like I guess pretty much the thought about leaving everything here, the ones I love, not knowing what's gonna happen. I mean, do you just pass away and then that's it, like not knowing that. Um, and yeah, so those, I mean, once once I had confirmation through a channeling session with my grandmother, um, that made me open my eyes even more. So like I mentioned in the other episode, she passed away in 1999, and as growing up, I've always had questions. So I had always had so many questions for her. That first time that channeling session, she answered them without me asking. So that made me really open my eyes and like, there's something else up there. There's something beyond this world. So that made me think a little differently now.
Mm-hmm.
No, but before I was scared shit. And don't get me wrong, there's times that even now today, like I think about it, like one day I'm gonna leave this world. And it happens a lot, like when I see movies and stuff like that, the past or whatever. There's that just comes to my head, like one day I'll be leaving this world, and like I start to get like that anxiety, right? And I start thinking like, how is it gonna be? Like, am I gonna be able to like see them, even though they're not gonna probably see me, but am I gonna be able like to be next to them without them, stuff like that.
Hmm.
Gets your mind going a little bit.
Yeah.
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 Interesting. Um, I would always just feel like I wasn't. I don't want to say born in the right year, but I just always felt like the year I was in just felt odd. Like I just didn't belong in this year. Um, and I would be really curious as to why. I wouldn't be afraid of death. Um, that's that's one thing that we did grow up um knowing death was a thing. That was going to happen and that you had no time limit. Um, but I was always curious about reincarnations. Um, y siempre me ponía a pensar, like, was I going to be born if I were to pass away? Where was I to be born in the future or in the past?
Well, that's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Really good thought. Wow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I was always really curious because I don't know. I feel like the way we tell time is different for spirits and for just spiritual stuff. Like for them, time doesn't exist. Es como yo pienso las cosas, ¿verdad? Yeah. How about you, Tia? Oh.
So before Risa starts talking, that's a pretty good thought. Never really crossed my mind. Would you be reborn in the future or in the past again?
Mm-hmm.
Topic to touch one day. Future and past, like how would that work?
Yeah, como te digo. Like I said, I personally feel like there is no definition of time when it comes to spirituality or just being awake.
Wait, you say that there is no time in as when you are in spirit?
Mm-hmm.
No, that is yeah. There, I don't think there is time that they could perceive. You know, because if that was it, then people who pass and they stay in that place where they want to go back to, and if they have to perceive time, then they wouldn't be there then. You know, if they were to have that time.
Yeah.
So I think there is no time. I don't think they perceive time. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
they stay where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but yeah, I don't think they perceive time.
So how about you, Brisa?
So for me, I have always thought that I was born maybe in the wrong family.
Say it louder.
Oh God.
I've been on the same boat.
um, Porque, and I know it was because maybe we grew up differently. We didn't grow up together. We started growing up together, pero it was just different, you know. And like I said before, I probably be like the black sheep from the family.
Yeah.
Because I know that we're all different in our own ways. But I feel myself very different from just my sisters, sometimes even from my parents. I know I have heard a lot from a lot of other podcasts that um that we choose who we come to.
The magical
You know,
contract that we tend to forget.
yes. That we choose who to come to be born or take as parents. And the apparently the reasons why we pick those parents or we pick that family is to learn whatever lessons we need to learn that we still have, you know, to learn from past lives that we didn't, and we're here to take them. But I'm like, every time there's something going on, I'm like, Jesus, is there more? Like, what more do I have to learn? um but I mean, it has been a long ride, you know, for me, even though I think I feel like I'm born in the wrong family. um it has taken me some time to accept, you know, that they're different, I'm different, my parents are different, and in a whole lot of different ways. I do I have had a reading with my younger sister, and apparently with my younger sister we have had lives together before, and I guess that's why the connection with her is a lot much more stronger than the
Mm-hmm.
connections with my other sisters. um I don't know, it's just different, you know. um I do think that there is a lot to learn from past lives. um
Yeah.
there is more into it, and it's true, you know, having the correct people to do those readings. Not saying that the, you know, our last reader doesn't, it is not that she's not a good reader. No, 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 no. Not saying that she's a perfect reader. But just having different insights from somebody
Mm-hmm.
else, you know, It's good to have two different perspectives from two different people. It's having it done. I'm not gonna say correctly, but having two perspectives or different perspectives from different people in different ways, because everybody reads different.
Definitely.
Everybody is different. Everybody perceives differently, and it's, I think it's cool, to actually see where you come from, see where your behavior from now comes from, and why is it that you behave the way that we behave, the way that we act with certain people. Why is it, that we act the way? Because it, like Joel was saying, he has trusting issues, with certain people. Why that, why is that issue of trusting, why is it so profound to him? Why? Like, something had to happen in his past, that he doesn't trust too many people, that it's hard for him to trust for some, just for have some trust for somebody. There's something had to go on there, and it's the same thing, as for me, is in a lot of different ways. Like, why do I go through so much in life? Something had to happen in a past life that was that is making me pay something in this life, and trying to show me something. But it's like, sometimes it's like questionable. It's like, okay, what else? What else is it that I need to learn? There's just too much. There's a lot into it, and I would love to have that hypnosis type of regression. But I think sometimes also knowing the truth might be also type, even though you want to know and we want to find out and we want to learn from our past, but sometimes I'm might be scared to know the actual truth of certain things, to be what, having an open vision of what it is also scary, to know what's behind all of that. Because I didn't, like I said before, I didn't know, I didn't know why I was calling Jorge all the time. He will be going out to the store, just to the store, just to even get milk. And just probably he might be halfway home or park or coming into the driveway, and I'm already calling him, asking him if he's okay.
Talk too much? Nah.
So it's like, I didn't know why I was doing it, and got to know that I was doing it because we were married. We had just recently married, and he was out. He got deployed and never came back. Never came back. And I could, as just she was mentioning, as she was saying everything, I could literally just picture myself as she was describing it. And it's like I said, every reader it's good on their way. Everybody perceives differently.
Yeah, they're all unique. Each experience with them would be a unique one. Some will pick up more than the other, and that's fine. Yeah. Good to have options.
I guess it really all depends. Or at least I would like to think it all depends. You get the information that I think that your guides want you to receive that day.
That is also a really good way of putting it. Yeah.
This lady probably told me so much, right? But if I go somewhere else, they say the same cards come out, right? But he or she may end up going in a different direction with it. But at the end, it might all make sense. I think it could probably just be your guides only wanting you to know so much about that reading. Baby steps, I guess you could say.
Yeah, from that life, from that time and point, Yeah. And it could be also, because of it's like I always say, they know what we want to know
Yeah.
and what is to know in that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes even though we want to know certain things at that time and moment, because we might go to a reading and asking, well, I want to know why is this and this is happening. But hello, you get a surprise that your reading is completely off from what you want to know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, no, this, they're not giving you what you want to know. They're giving you what they think or what they want you to know at that time of moment. And we might not like it because that's just, as humans, that's just who we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
This is why when I go to readings or to any type of session that I get, if they ask, do you have questions? Oh yeah, I might have a lot of questions, but I want to know I don't ask what is it anymore, because sometimes they won't give you what you want. So I'm like, whatever it is, whatever I have to listen or whatever I need to learn for today, that's what I get. And that's where my questions start coming up from. I start to listen first. I used to have questions in my head, but I've learned that we don't get the questions that we want right then and there. You might probably get them in your third session,
Yeah.
so now I listen to my sessions first, and then from there I start getting my questions, and if they'll answer, and I will get my answers. If not, then I'll wait again
Yep.
or for another time. But yeah, I have also learned that in one life I died pretty young,
Oh.
at the age of, I think it was 18. It was just, I was young,
Yeah.
as a fisherman.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Oh,
Maybe that's
ooh.
why I don't like the sea
I
a
was just
little
gonna
more.
say that. I was just gonna bring that up. Is that the reason why you don't like being, by the ocean? Huh.
Uh-huh.
That's
Interesting.
interesting.
That could be where our
Yeah.
fears come from.
And let me tell, and the trip that we went, when we went to Delaware,
Mhm.
we went to the beach, and it was because I wanted to go. Not because, and it's, because not because the kids wanted to go, not because Jorge wanted to go, is because I had picked it out that we were going to go to the beach in
Mhm.
Delaware.
No. Just
Mm-mm.
uncomfortable all around.
I say I like the water, but I couldn't. I went in and I went out.
No.
That's crazy.
Uh-huh.
Never knew you either like being around the ocean.
Uh-uh. No, sí me gusta. Sí me gusta, pero no, I don't know. There's just something that I do like it, but I don't know what it is that I can't be in the, well, I guess that's the reason why I can't be in the water, you know? Um, Also like the same thing with the sand. I can't. Like, I like it, but maybe far away. But to like, pero ya de ahí to be on it, I just can't. That day I remember I was so mad. I'm like, I need the sand to be off me. But yeah, there's just a lot of things that with a reading, with that, with a past life reading, we start to learn from ourselves for
Mhm.
certain things of our dislikes and likes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was a pretty good topic.
It
That was
was?
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got our brains going.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a pretty good topic. We'll see what our next recording has in store for us.
Yeah,
Just go with the flow with no clue.
that's right. That's right.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us. Gati Brisa. It's nice chatting with you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure. If you have any comments, questions. If you have any questions, feel free to message us. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. What else? I always forget.
Email.
Our email.
Yeah, emails or leave comments down below. Again, if you guys would like for us to talk about a certain topic, let us know. We'll share our experiences about that topic, or maybe we could gather up other information, about that topic. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, enjoy the rest of your night.
You too.
Stay warm. It's a little chilly now. It got colder. Well, at least for us, Brisa, she's probably
Not here.
it's just a t-shirt or something. She'll be fine.
It's looking like spring over here.
Look at that. Maybe next year she'll be with a big coat all bundled up.
Listen, I have my bags. I'm ready.
There you go. Oh.
All right.
All right, guys. Good night.
Bye.
Night.
Bye.
Bye.